Hi guys, welcome back to my read along channel. This is Lizzie Zipmouth by Jacqueline Wilson. Today we're going to read chapter 3, which is on page 25. It is just a short book, so probably after this 2 more videos, I hope, and then it will be done as well. So this is all Jacqueline Wilson's own work, just reading it for entertainment pleasure. Let's get going. Chapter 3. I got into big trouble with Mum when she found me. She was very cross because she thought I'd run away. She shouted at me. Sam didn't shout at me. I was surprised, but maybe he wanted me to run away. You made your mum cry, said Rory. You're so ever so naughty, Lizzie Zipmouth, said Jake. Mum wanted me to say sorry to everyone for hiding in the wardrobe. I wouldn't say anything, so I got sent to bed without any tea. I decided I didn't care one bit, but then Sam knocked on the door and whispered my name. He came into my room. I hid under the duvet. I was sure he was going to shout now, but he didn't say anything at all. Long after he'd gone, I peeped out. He'd left a big chocolate bar beside my bed, purple to match my bedroom. Rory and Jake crept in when they came to bed at the normal time. Rory gave me a biscuit. It was a bit crumbly from being in his pocket. I didn't say anything, but I did smile at him. Jake didn't bring me any food, but he ran and fetched his purple Beanie Baby teddy. You can have Mr. Purple just for one night, he said. Only you will give him back in the morning, won't you, Lizzie Zipmouth? I didn't say anything, but I nodded at him. I didn't touch the chocolate, but I nibbled on the edge of the biscuit and cuddled Mr. Purple. Then I snuggled down to go to sleep. Then guess what? Mum came in with a tray of tea for me. I didn't have to say sorry. In fact, Mum said sorry to me. I gave a big cuddle and she cried. She promised she'd never ever get cross again. But as I said, I don't always believe in Mum's promises. The next day was Sunday. Mum and I used to have lovely fun Sundays when we were just a family of 2. We'd lie in bed and play bears in caves under the bed covers, and once Mum let me take a jar of honey to bed with us, and she just laughed when the sheets got all sticky. Mum liked reading the newspapers all morning. I liked drawing on the papers, giving all the ladies in photos moustaches and men long dangly earrings. Then we'd have a picnic lunch in the park. We'd even have picnics when it was raining. We didn't care. We just said it was lovely weather for ducks and went quack, quack, quack. Then we watched videos in the evening. Mum liked old black and white movies, and I liked new brightly coloured cartoons. We had lovely Sundays. I didn't think I was going to like the new Sundays one bit. Mum and Sam had a lion. Rory and Jake had a pillow fight and played on their computer. I sat in the wardrobe. I wished I had Mr. Purple to keep me company, but he was back in his box in Jake's bedroom. We all went out to the pub for Sunday lunch. I don't like proper meals like meat and vegetables and puddings. I cut mine into teeny tiny pieces and I didn't eat any of them. Jake started messing about with his meal too. Sam told him off. It's not fair. Lizzie Zipmouth isn't eating hers properly. I've told you not to call Lizzie silly names, said Sam. Eat up at once, Jake. And you eat up too, Lizzie, said Mum. I zipped my lips shut tight. She's a silly baby, said Jake, dropping his fork full of potato onto his plate so that gravy splashed all over Mum. You're both silly babies, said Mum. Oh dear, look at my white shirt, and I wanted to look extra smart to meet your grandma, Sam. We were only going to have tea with this old lady. If she was Sam's grandmother, she was Rory and Jake's great-gran. So does that mean she's Lizzie's sort of step-great-gran? Said Rory. I've never had my own great-gran. I've got a granny at the seaside and a gran and grandpa in Scotland, but I don't see any of them very often. I didn't want to see this sort of step-great-gran either. My mum and dad live in Australia, said Sam, so great-gran is very special for me. He said it as if special meant scary. She's okay, I suppose, but she's very strict, said Rory. She tells me off if I talk in the slang sort of way. She says it sounds sloppy. She says I look sloppy, said Jake. She's always licking her hanky and wiping my face. Yuck, I hate that. I didn't want this old lady telling me off and wiping me. I looked at Mum. Mum looked as if she was worried about being told off and wiped too. Great-gran lived in a big block of flats. I hoped she might live right up at the top, but she lived on the ground floor. Sam said it was to save her legs. I wondered if they were wearing out. Perhaps they were about to snap off at the socket like an old doll. Great Gran looked a bit like an old doll. This strange stiff lady came into the door. She had a very black hair combed so tightly into place it made her eyes pop. She creaked when she went to hug Rory and Jake. She didn't hug me, she just looked me up and down. She looked Mum up and down too. It's lovely to meet you, said Mum. Great Gran didn't look as if she thought it was lovely at all. Say hello to Rory and Jake's Great Gran, Lizzie, said Mum through, though she knew I wouldn't, and I didn't. I stared at the doormat. It said welcome. The doormat was telling fibs. Great Gran tutted. Well, you'd better come in, she said. Mum held my hand tight and we stepped inside. Dear, dear, wipe your feet. Watch my beige carpet, Great Gran fussed. But I wasn't watching her carpet. I was staring all around the walls in a daze. Hundreds of shining eyes were staring back at me. Chapter 4. Dolls, old china dolls in cream frocks and pinafores like button boots, soft plush dolls with rosy cheeks and curls, baby dolls in a long white christening robes, lady dolls with tiny umbrellas and high heels, and a Japanese doll in a kimono with a weenie fan, dolls in school uniform and swimming costumes and party frocks, great dolls, as big as me sitting in a real wicker chairs, middle-sized dolls in row after row on shelves, and tiny dolls no bigger than my thumb standing in their own green painted garden beside the doll's house. Great Gran collects dolls, said Rory unnecessarily. She doesn't collect Beanie Babies, said Jake, not even the rare ones. Sam patted my shoulder. Are you cold, Lizzie? You're shivering, he said. Lizzie likes dolls, said Mum. Well, I'm sure Gran won't mind her having a look at them, said Sam, though he didn't sound sure at all. She can look, but she mustn't touch, said Great Gran. I put my hands behind my back to show her I wouldn't touch even one tiny china hand. These are collector's dolls, said Great Gran. They're not for children. I nodded. I was very impressed. I thought I was too old for dolls, but Great Gran was very old indeed, as she had hundreds. I knew exactly what I was going to be when I grew up, a doll collector. I wandered very slowly and carefully round Great Gran's flat. There were dolls on shelves all the way round her living room. She even had 3 special ballet dancer dolls on tippy toes on top of her television set. She had a row of funny dolls with fat tummies on her kitchen windowsill and a mermaid doll with a long, shiny green tail in the bathroom. The dolls in her bedroom were all wearing their night clothes, white nighties with pink ribbon trimming and blue-white striped pyjamas and soft red dressing gowns with cords and tassels and little slippers with tiny pom-poms. Well, what do you think of them? Said Great Gran, walking along briskly behind me. I didn't say anything, but I must have had the right look on my face, because Great Gran gave me a little nod. I better go and put the kettle on, she said. They won't have a thought to do it. The garmless lot. I gave the littlest doll one last lingering glance. Her plaits were tied with tiny pink ribbons, and she was holding a little pink rabbit no bigger than a button. I suppose you can stay in here looking, she said, but only if you promise you won't touch. I did my pantomime of hands behind my back, but this wasn't good enough. Promise me, said Great Gran. I didn't say anything, but I tried so hard to make my face look as if I was promising that my eyes watered. Great Gran's eyes were very bright blue, even though she was such an old lady. They grew even brighter now. I can't hear you, she said, and she cupped her little claw hand behind her ear. Speak up. We looked at each other. I knew what she was up to. She knew that I knew. We looked and looked and looked at each other. So you're not going to promise, said Great Gran. Come on then, out the bedroom this instant. I looked at her pleadingly. What's the matter, said Great Gran. Why can't you promise? I shook my head helplessly. Can't you talk, said Great Gran. I shook my head. Of course you can talk if you really want to, said Great Gran. Open your mouth. She said it so fiercely I opened my mouth automatically. Aha, said Great Gran. There, you've got a tongue in your head after all, and 2 rows of shiny teeth. So use them, please, madam. Now. My tongue and my teeth started working all by themselves. I promise, I whispered. Great Gran smiled triumphantly. All the dolls in her bedroom seemed to be smiling too. Mum called out to me from the other room. I zipped my mouth shut again. Don't worry, said Great Gran. I won't tell the others. She put her finger to her lips. I put my finger to my lips. You're a caution, you are, said Great Gran. I'm pleased you like my dolls. You can come and visit me again. I have some more dolls stored in trunks. I might let you play with those dolls if you're a very, very good girl. And that's it, guys. Really sorry that I forgot to mention what page chapter 4 was on. It was on page 35, and we're on let's try that again. We're on chapter 5 now, and that's on page 43. So thank you again for listening, guys. That's another 2 chapters done of this short story. But until the next time, guys, goodbye.